shopping. Nothing fancy here. Just a plain old IRL stream. Like the old days. Figure what the hell. Figure what the hell. So we're going to Macy's grocery store. No yoga for me tonight. I have a cold of some kind. I think I got it on the airplane. You know, went through the airline trip. This last week. Last week I was on a trip. Yeah, I definitely have some kind of cold. Hey, Mark. Uh-oh, Rob is mobile. The RWX lol. Yeah. Much more interesting when it's not nighttime, but here we are. I'm actually playing around with bimodal sleep. Bimodal sleep schedule again. So I don't know. We're gonna see how it works out. The freaks come out at night exactly, which is why the bimodal sleep schedule might be better. So what am I talking about? Sleep in 5 hours and then sleep in 3 hours. Why would anybody ever do that? Well, people have been doing it for a long time. You can actually read about it. Been happening. Some people, they used to call it the second sleep in some places. I don't know if there's any evidence to suggest that it's actually scientifically good for you. We're going to find out. I want to see if I can maintain a good level of health and still kind of interrupt my sleep schedule in the middle. Main reason is because it's so hard to produce good use of your brain, especially at my age, without some kind of sleep. So I don't know. It might not work, but I'm gonna give it a shot. No Taco Bell run. That does not qualify as health food. So yeah, this trip is about buying food. I'm gonna be buying a bunch of extra stuff. How you doing? You sleep 5 at night and then 3 after work. Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. And you haven't read that it's good for you, but I read that that it's not bad compared to 8 straight, right? So the logic goes that, you can get better use of your brain twice, anytime I want to do something with my brain, like some big substantial thing, whether it be writing a coding project or a book or a novel. I'm actually working on a novel, possibly a screenplay. I know it's ambitious, but that's what I'm working on. I usually get the 5 at night and only the 5 at night. Yeah. Well, that's not good for you, right? That causes you to get visceral fat. So we're going to talk about health topics a lot on this stream. At least I'm going to talk about it. Under my breath, by the way, because I'm going to be in a public space. So I have not done a grocery stream in a while. I have mixed feelings about them because they do kind of violate the privacy of the people in the shopping, store. But it is sort of a public place. I'm not as conflicted about this as I am other things, like, taking the camera into a casino or something. Hey, Breno. Oh, Breno, good to see you. By the way, if you're joining for tech content, be sure to come back on Sunday. However, based on this sleep schedule, I think I might change the time on Sunday, and I don't have that information yet. I might talk about that a little bit. The thing about streaming this much is just the talking. The talking increases my stress levels and my stress hormones like crazy. So, I don't know about that. Especially since I have a cold. You doing another beginner boost? You missed my tech rants? You actually did. Papa Murphy's taking baked pizza. I'm starting to realize the hardest part about streaming is having to talk. I don't always want to talk all the time. In fact, I've been not streaming for a very long time. And the first thing I noticed when I started streaming was how much I have to talk. And I was like, this is the reason. Because talking, especially me, talking causes you to stress out. And I am not the kind of person who does not talk. So you put me on a live stream, I'm going to talk straight for 4 hours. That is like really stressful. Now, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's bad stress, not good stress. I don't know. We'll see. So here we are. Let me change the mic. All right, when we go in here, I can hear you. Here, let me test. The optimized settings for iRaw with Moblin. I absolutely would like to do that. That's funny you say that because I just had a problem with this. I had Moblin set to do cinematic. You're talking about using a DJI device, which is separate, but I had Moblin set to do cinematic on that camera and to do horizontal stabilization. Don't ever do that. It screws. If you look at that video that you're talking about, there's a lot of times where it's like in and out of focus and it freaks out and stuff. And that's all because of that setting, I'm pretty sure. So if I'm going to be looking at this video closely to see if I fixed it. Oh, here, somebody's come to their car. It's time for me to go. People are already starting to look at me. The guy getting the grocery cart's already looking at me. Okay, so I'm going to have to go into quiet mode. I'm going to put the camera on, but oh, that couple is like, that woman's looking at that guy like she loves him. She got all mushy-eyed and looked at him all across the way, and then they both got in the car, and now they're gonna drive away and go snuggle on the couch and watch a movie. Them days is gone for me. We're going to talk about what healthy food is. I can hear you. You guys are in my ears. You guys are in my ears. So, all right, ready, set, go. Never over till it's over. Trying to decide where to carry you. Oh, that's good enough. All right, hold on for a second. I'll change your mic to bottom because it's, for some reason, it's like if you're doing Moblin, for some reason, if you're on an iPhone, the bottom is the best mic, not the front or the back. You're not talking to the customers. We tried that, remember? It says who the speaker is, but sometimes I don't always hear it. Yeah. Hey, Peter. Yep. That's what I'm doing. I'm eating like a caveman. That's exactly what we're doing. Peter figured it out.
the secret, a long time ago, best health I've ever been in, and I'll show you pictures someday. My ex sent me my pictures today, and I'm printing the pictures out, putting them on my mirror in the bathroom as inspiration because I want to get back there. And I was vegan, non-dairy, non-wheat, non-complex carb, period. And the way I came to that is I was like, I'm going to eat what a gorilla would be given in a zoo. And I'm not going to overthink supplementation and anything. And it worked. Oh my God, it worked. I was in such good shape. I was down to like 2% body fat. Oh, I had no visceral fat at all. No, I'm not constantly cycling. I don't do that anymore. Back then I was paddleboarding. I was paddleboarding for an hour. Okay, so the first thing is when you're going to shop for healthy food, you don't shop any place else in the entire store except for here. And I got to tell you, I went years without even going to the other section of the store. I didn't buy anything that was canned. I didn't buy anything that was processed. Because I just want to take a chance. I only bought stuff from this department. In fact, I would go, I lost my teeth. I did the cycling. I don't eat meat. I eat eggs, fish, and I don't eat other meat very much at all. I eat eggs and smoked oysters in olive oil and kippered snack, which has got DHA in it. It's a different kind of thing. I don't eat that very much anymore either, though. Small fish does not have heavy metal contamination. Yeah, I have eggs. I like olives. I'm getting blueberries, but I'm getting blueberries and strawberries are expensive. You can get those frozen and they're fine. So I usually mix my oranges up, but I think I'm just gonna go with the small ones this time because they're just easier. One of these days I'll show you guys how to make a smoothie. Oysters are better for you than any other fish. Sardines and oysters are medically, factually the best thing you can eat. And then you get a whole bunch of limes. And avocados actually were a really staple part of my diet. I don't know if I'm going to be able to maintain that. I'm going to try. They're super expensive. They're still cheaper than meat, but they are hard on the gut. Avocados are hard on the gut, for me anyway. So that's always a challenge. Oh, this is organic. It's going to be a lot more expensive. The thing about organics is they go bad fast. You got to get them every week. Yeah. I used to eat like one avocado a day. I'm going to try this again. I'm going to try to replace... I don't know if I'm going to replace one of the fishes. Oysters have got cholesterol. They got really essential cholesterol in them that you need to produce testosterone and estrogen. and they have a certain amount of DHA, but not a lot. So it's a tough call. Yeah. Avocados are always problematic. I'm actually not going to try avocados yet. Because the avocados took the place of meat for me, meat and fat, healthy fats before. And now I'm eating kipper snack, which is good. It's like sardines. It's got stuff for your bones in it. It's got all good stuff. And then oysters, which are within olive oil. So I'm going to stick with that instead of avocados. I'm going to try that. It's a slight modification to my normal diet. Cucumbers are grocery. I already have sardines at home. I get them from Amazon. I get sardines and I get kipper snack in our sardines. So, God, you know what I really am missing out on? Sun. One of the reasons I was so healthy back then is I would go paddleboarding out in the sun every day, and I would get a full dose of vitamin D from the sun directly. And it just being outside and everything. It's actually one of the primary reasons I'm moving to North Carolina again. Yeah. Sardines and rice is good. I have that too. It's like one of my main meals. Rice is a tough one because it's a really simple carb. So to me, this is 2 servings of cucumber. So to get me through a week, I'm gonna need 6 of those, I guess. No, 3, 4. Let's get 4 just in case. Hey, how you doing, guys? Is that action, yeah? 2, 4, 6. Oh, the other one. Cucumbers are super good at reducing inflammation. They're really filling. Whenever I look at cucumbers, I'm like, when I first came to cucumbers, I'm like, why would I ever eat a cucumber? And because they don't have nutritional value, but they do. They have tons of traditional, and so yeah, cucumbers are super good. They're good because they provide they provide bulk to the smoothie, and they give you. Now normally I would buy peppers. I'd also get. So the thing I did with the salsa is I would do peppers. Cucumbers, I feel like they were a big part of the reason that my inflammation was so. I've heard over and over again that they're super good against inflammation. They have 0 calories in them, so when you eat them, they make you feel full. And another thing too, apparently broccoli. I can't digest broccoli. If I could figure out a way to eat broccoli and be able to digest it, it would be so good. But I can't. I can't. I don't know why my body can't digest it very well. And then celery. Celery is also another one of these that's really, really good, and it also gives bulk to the smoothie. But I actually for a long time I would eat. There was a time when I would eat celery with my. I put all that stuff in my smoothie. I'll go home and make a smoothie for you guys so you can see. My smoothie. There's 2 smoothies I make. I make a citrus spinach smoothie. And then I make a peanut butter mood smoothie, which is mostly just whey protein. And that's another thing too. I'm gonna attempt this diet using my whey protein instead of organic protein. Vegan protein. Yeah. But normally, again, when I would come here, I would get all this stuff to make guac. So I am kind of interested to see if I can do this without guacamole as a part of my diet. I don't know if I can do that or not. Guacamole every day I would have guacamole and it would fill me up. And I would get romaine lettuce. I would get romaine lettuce, and I would eat the guacamole with my romaine lettuce instead of chips. And it was so good. But I'm gonna give that a shot. Normally, I would get the onions too to go in the guac. So I'm gonna skip guac. I'm gonna try this diet using. So I'm gonna go through this. What else do I need? I would usually get a serrano pepper for my guacamole. I'm kind of. Hey, Ugly, what's up? And I am concerned though, because the guacamole, I got a lot of nutrients from stuff that I normally I'm not sure is covered by other things. So if I was to reproduce my diet exactly the way I was, I would eat guac once a day. And peppers have tons of nutrients in them, and I'm feeling kind of bad because I'm cutting all of that out. And you might ask, well, how do you have room for all the calories from all that? Well, if you're eating that many vegetables, you don't have to do, cereal or, dairy products or other things. You don't feel hungry because you're full all the time. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go for the guacamole diet. The reason I want to do it is because if I'm too full during the day, then I won't want to eat other foods. I've been eating other foods all the time, and those foods are not healthy at all. I've been sneaking Rice Krispie treat here and there, which is because what happens is I'll get low blood sugar because I won't eat during the day, and I'll end up doing it because those things instantly spike your blood sugar. The problem I have with guacamole is the avocados. They are problematic because they are super expensive, and the avocados are super duper expensive, and if you get them wrong, you pay for it, man. You really pay. So, these are good. We're over here by California. That's probably why we got good avocados. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's not cheap to eat like this. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It isn't. You watch how big the bill's going to be. This is 1 week of vegetarian eating. It doesn't count my eggs, but so I'm going to try it. All right, so if we did that, we got to go back and get avocado guacamole. Yep, it does. And it is the reason people don't eat healthy is because it's so expensive to eat healthy. It's really expensive. Produce is super duper expensive. I know, but it's like, I know, isn't that crazy? We're gonna see what this bill is. This is one of the reasons I'm doing this. That's actually probably a good reason to get the avocado stuff. Because you're gonna see the bill. I used to. Yeah, but it's super expensive is the problem. So, like, I remember traveling all the way to Super G-Mart downtown in Charlotte just to get tomatoes, because the tomatoes were so much cheaper than everywhere else. You'll see, it's expensive to eat like this. So, we need to get peppers. Semi-organic. Let's get the peppers. So each guac is 1/2 a pepper. I don't know if I have to have organic peppers. This is always organic is even more expensive. So why can't people just make organic food instead of charging extra for it? It pisses me off. Cilantro. The fact that you could buy cilantro in March or February is pretty miraculous to me. This isn't enough onion for guac. One of these. These are gonna go in the guac. And we need 1/2 of bell pepper for each guac, so that's 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah. We are globalized, aren't we? It's kind of a modern miracle that we can do this. You know, but then again, living to be 100 years old is pretty much a modern miracle as well, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's, looks like we're gonna have guac every day. I don't think I can afford to do guac every day and to eat a tin of oysters and sardines, and also I think it's a little too much. Serrano pepper, we only need 1 of these. These things are wicked hot. Serrano and jalapeno. 1 jalapeno will do like 3. We only need 2 jalapenos. That'll do like 3. Actually, I'm gonna go easy on the chili peppers because I'm getting older. But they're super good for you. This is kind of making me nostalgic. I used to, first time I met my last wife, we would go shopping and we would both go shop for ourselves, and then we like meet, and I just remember filling my cart with produce, like literally pretty much all produce. Again, I was 100% vegan back then. And, somebody's very noisy. No, 2 teenage girls. Carrots we got. Again, carrots is, I think that's probably one of the reasons I got so skinny is I was eating stuff that, wait, there's a cafe up there? There's a cafe up there. Can anybody sit up there? I never saw that before. Yeah, they're looking at, they're watching TVs and stuff up there. What the hell? How do you even get up there? Huh. Anyway, I never saw it before because I was always up too close to it. Here we have more celery. This is actually better than the other celery. That's way better. I don't know. Why do they have to package the shit out of celery? It's like the organic one is more packaged. Yeah, it sucks being American sometimes. Because we can't get actual food. Our food is all illegal in other countries. It does look like a hangout spot. I'm gonna go up there and hang out and write and stuff. Yeah, anyway. Alright, so none of that stuff. Oh, let's just keep going through. This is funny because this is exactly how I used to shop. So we get a regular onion. I think probably 1 regular onion will take me through. The purple onions are actually better for you, but they have kind of a different taste to them. I wonder if I can make guacamole with a purple onion instead. I don't know if I can do that. These are healthier than the other ones. It's not that much more health though, so I'll just get a regular onion. Coconut water is good too. Yep, super expensive, but it's good. Right, so a fundamental thing is Roma tomatoes. Now, these are super hard to get out of season. This is always kind of a problem. For me, this is always a problem because Roma tomatoes have less seeds in them, and if you know about nightshades, then you know the seeds are not. Tomatoes are good for you, but the seeds are really not. They're really not good for you. They're a little bit toxic. They don't. Your body's fine, but the seeds are slightly toxic. So you have to cut them out. And if you go do an internet search for why nightshades can be bad for you, and you can read about that. But that's kind of the downside of tomatoes. especially if you're sensitive to nightshades and stuff like that. These on the vine are actually fresher tomatoes, so I'm going to get these instead. I need lots of tomatoes though. In fact, usually when I'm making guac, usually what I'll do is I'll use a large tomato, a single large one, and then I'll have lots of meaty Roma tomatoes to keep it good. But so per thing of guac, I'm actually going to down, the tomatoes are really fucking expensive. These are $3 a pound. I mean, compare that to like meat, for example. You compare how much tomatoes cost to the cost of meat. So at least one tomato per guac. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. To be completely honest, the reason I'm doing the guac is because I want to get the peppers in my diet, which are really good, the green peppers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. And so there, basil's good, but it doesn't go with anything I'm making. I would get a lot of basil and pesto, and I'd make when I used to make pasta. But I'm not going to add pasta to my diet until, I mean, think about that. An avocado is $1.79. One avocado. And, you know, go look up how much a burger is at a fast food joint. You know? So it's not cheap to eat healthy. That's kind of the problem with it. Especially if you buy all the stuff and then you don't eat it. And that happens a lot. You get all like excited about eating right, and then you buy it all, and then you don't eat it, and then it goes bad because it spoils. Unlike frozen stuff, which is something we'll talk about. We're going to go to the frozen section for the berries, and you know, a lot of the stuff you can get away with buying frozen fruit. A lot of fruit you can buy frozen instead, not oranges and stuff though. So bananas are a staple. We're going to talk about bananas later when I'm actually making my smoothies. Bananas have a chemical in them. I can send you a video. It's got multiple studies cited in the video by a nutritionist about how bananas destroy the nutritional value of other foods. So the worst thing you want to do is pay a whole bunch of money for healthy food and then destroy it by mixing the food wrong. There's graphs in this video I can show you. It shows you the graphs of the polyphenol, the flavonoid polyphenols are destroyed by the bananas because it's an antibacterial reflex in the fruit to get rid of it, and so it's a protection mechanism. And then the bananas end up killing all the nutrients, the flavonoids, in the other stuff. All right, so we're going to go to the. We're going to go to the other department. I am kind of torn past the meat. I'm not going to become a vegetarian. I am still going to occasionally eat meat, but really, really turning my meat down, my meat intake, because it's you know, a lot of people think being a carnivore is the way to go, and that works for them. I've read so many books on nutrition, it's insane. So bananas, the long story short, don't mix bananas with anything that has rich in polyphenols, such as blueberries and other stuff. I really love summer sausage. This is probably an indulgence I will keep. I really love it. It makes you feel really satisfied. However, I think the reason I do that is because I don't have guacamole. If I have guacamole in my diet, guacamole makes you feel really satiated because it's all that fat, the really super duper healthy fat. So same with cheese. I've been eating way too much cheese. My biggest concern with whey protein is that whey protein is derived from dairy, and I'm going to test that. You know what? Maybe I won't test it. Maybe I might buy some Orgain right now, because here's the thing. I had a diet dialed in that worked perfectly, and every single piece of that diet, and I don't even know all the reasons it worked, but I guarantee you it worked. I was shredded, man. I was totally shredded. I had the opposite problem. I was burning fat so fast that it started to burn muscle, and then I had to slowly add sweet potatoes back to my diet to have more carbs so that I wouldn't waste away. And I turned my metabolism up so high. I'm not bragging. I'm just trying to remember what I did, because whatever I did, it was perfect. I'm trying to do that again. And that's why I'm kind of nervous about messing with it, because I know that recipe works for me. I know it because I've lived it. So, and that's another thing too, is it's like, how do you figure out what's going to work for your body, right? And this is not cheap too, organic powder. So this is vegan protein powder. It does not have as many of leucine and the amino acids that you want. It does not trigger, protein powder does not trigger the same, vegan protein powder does not trigger, this is medical factual, the same amount of muscle protein synthesis that whey protein does. You can go research that and look it up for yourself, but that, it doesn't. So if you can take whey protein and you're not against, it coming from cows and all that, it's better for muscle protein synthesis. However, there may be other side effects. So because it comes from dairy, if you're dairy sensitive, which I think I am a little, then you might end up triggering some problems in your gut that cause it to not be digested as well, in which case you're losing your extra boost from protein synthesis. I know that's complicated, but plant-based diets are much friendlier on your gut. They just are. And I think that's the biggest thing. I have a very sensitive gut. I always have. And that's, I think, a personal thing. So my diet is going to be the same for you. Somebody else is going to have a different diet. Like, one of the things that was a huge breakthrough in my diet was, it's always funny. When I start doing this, I'm like trying to look for things that I actually need in the rest of the store. So there's really not anything. Except for the frozen food section. Here we are. They're like, bury me. Yeah, but my diet's going to be different than your diet. You guys are going to have, and I can get the cheaper frozen berries now, because they're going to go in a smoothie as opposed to a waffle. I've been putting in waffles. That's another thing too. I've been having a waffle, gluten-free waffles in the morning with blueberries, but I feel like it's bloating me out because I just cannot do complex carbs. I can't explain why. If I eat a single potato, I just bloat up immediately. Or if I eat and I think it's probably has something to do with my insulin response. I don't know for sure. We need to find the frozen spinach now and then we're done. But I read a book, and it was about the raw diet, but I don't think it was the main point of the book, but one of the things in the book that was really, really useful for me, because my gut is so sensitive, was eating, not mixing certain foods. And the entire logic behind it, and I don't know if it's backed by science or not, but it worked for me. Oh my God, it worked so well. It was, the idea is that certain foods digest better together. And I already told you about mixing bananas and certain foods can destroy the nutritional value. So the basic takeaway of the book is be aware of how you mix your foods and how those foods mix in your stomach. Because that can change the gut biome, they can change. Yeah, there are certain foods that if you eat them together, they cause intestinal stress. And the holy grail of fat reduction, particularly visceral fat and all of that, is a healthy gut. And if you want a healthy gut that's not overworked, then you got to find the foods that are gonna stress your gut the very least. And for me, that meant, and so this book, I'll have to pull it out. It's from Natalie, somebody, but it goes into that. And so, for example, if you mix certain meats with other certain foods, those foods, I'll never forget my award-winning surgeon friend once randomly told me while he was studying in med school, pre-med school in college, while I was typing up all his papers for him because he never learned how to type. Love you, Mike. Was that he told me, he goes out of nowhere while we were studying, he said, did you know your stomach cannot physically digest protein and carb at the same time? And that always stuck with me. Is it's like you physically are incapable of digesting protein and carb at the same time. Yet we eat hamburgers together. It's better to have, meat. What to eat for a sore throat? I don't know either, but I'm also sick. I would completely douse yourself in vitamin C personally. But don't take too much vitamin C every day or you'll end up with kidney stones. That happened to my buddy. They took 1,000 Brent back in the 90s. My friend Brent, he thought he would be healthy, so he took 1,000 milligrams of C every day, and they had to take kidney stones through his urethra. And if I have to tell you where that is, it was very painful. So too much vitamin C can cause you to create calcification. Yep. I'm now looking for, I don't want cherry berry and kale. That's kind of cool, but no. These whole smoothie in a box. I just want straight up spinach. Why don't they have just spinach? I don't want pre-made smoothies. I want to make my own smoothie. No pineapple. Pineapple's too acidic for me. I love pineapple. In the Caribbean, I used to pick. Did you guys know I was in the Caribbean? In the Caribbean, we used to go to the pineapple fields and steal a couple pineapples. I mean, it's frozen, so why isn't it there? I don't know. It's really weird. I've never bought it here before, so that's why I don't know where it is. Kind of on a quest. But yeah, pineapple. I love pineapple, but it is so acidic. That's another thing too, is if you're like me, you want to eat more alkaline foods and not a lot of acidic foods, which is hard. Yeah, I don't see it. I think they have another thing of frozen. Let's go see. Oh yeah, here we go. There's the fast foods. So one of my kids, who shall remain unnamed, absolutely loves pre-made meals, but talk about expensive. You know how expensive that is? Like an entire meal like that is $3. What? I don't know. And plus it's all entirely processed and it's all been it's got preservatives all over in it. I mean, it might fill you up, but it's certainly not good for you. Especially when you're young, you can get away with that. But at some point it'll catch up with you if you don't learn to eat real food. That's just my opinion. Frozen kale. No, I want frozen spinach. As much of it as I can get. I need the big old thing. I go through frozen spinach like crazy. Frozen spinach is one of the biggest parts of my vegetarian diet because it's the basis for the smoothie. And by the way, there's a really great video about how to get rid of visceral fat, and he has 10 things that he talks about, and one of the biggest things on there is consuming leafy green vegetables, arugula, kale, and spinach. They have stuff in them that directly targets visceral fat. Yep. So I can't possibly be the only spinach. Where's the cheapest spinach? It does not have to be expensive. They're both $2.59. That's 10 cents cheaper. I guess it doesn't matter. Steaming easy spinach from Food Club. This is probably good. $2.29. Not that much cheaper, but I'm gonna go through so that's probably how to make shit. This is probably. That's probably 2 smoothies per bag. 2, 4, 6, 8. Usually I'll get a bigger one. It might be better to have the smaller ones. If you leave spinach in the fridge, it'll get all the water collected around it. It gets pretty bad. This is in the Walmart, first of all. Yeah, we're in Utah. I think we're done. The only other thing that I eat, the only thing canned that I eat has been the beets. And I think I'm going to start eating non-canned beets, but they're much more expensive. So I'm going to try a week of original, tomatoes for chopping. I need to get, I need to get more tomatoes. I'm sorry, we need sliced almonds and olive oil, and I'm going to show you how to make caprese salad. And we need really, really light mozzarella cheese. Because I want to show you how to make caprese salad, which is very Mediterranean. Yeah, and this is just 1 week. This is just 1 week of food. Actually, the protein powder is going to throw us off because that protein powder is probably 2 weeks of protein powder. No, maybe 3. We had to take that out. That's the one big ticket item. Everything else is like a week's worth of food. So, I forgot, the only cheese I eat is I eat a really light amount of mozzarella cheese, a really fine bit of mozzarella or Parmesan cheese on my caprese salad. And then it's just good for the flavor, but it's a tiny amount of cheese, so it doesn't trigger all your dairy response, as it doesn't to me. But I absolutely cannot eat bread. I've learned this lesson the hard way so many times. Very scary. Here we go. Shredded mozzarella. That. We have pepper. I have my olive oil. And I need to get more tomatoes because sometimes I'll eat the tomatoes. Tomatoes are just like a super frickin', it's a church group. It's a Mormon church group. Yeah. Mormon young men's activity. So Mormon. Oh my gosh. That guy gives me trauma reminders. I know they're just out getting ice cream and having fun, but it always makes me wonder if there's a pedophile among them, which there was in mine. I was a young men's leader with my boys and kids, Boy Scout leader, and my sons. And the guy that hung out with us just like that for like 5 years turned out to be a pedophile, soliciting sex with minors in Florida. They caught him. So, sorry, but that kind of triggers me. I know. So, too much information, I know, but it kind of makes me angry. Every time I know I have those are probably wonderful human beings. None of them, I'm not saying anybody over there is any of that, but every time I see a nice, shiny, happy group of young men and young men leaders like that together in the Mormon church, that's the first thing that comes to my brain. I know, it's horrible, right? Anyway, I'm sorry. I don't know why I went there. More tomatoes. Why do we have so many tomatoes? Because sometimes the tomatoes are going to be caprese salad, and sometimes the tomatoes are going to be in guacamole. So the tomatoes are all right, so let's keep that going. No potatoes, too complex a carb. I gotta know how to get it to the top here. I want to go up here and look around just for 1 second. I never knew that was there. I made it dark, not buying Brian produce, and all of a sudden I'm talking about pedophiles. Ouch. Alright, let's start taking guesses on how much this is going to cost.
Do you wish to continue? Have you entered your Perks Rewards number? Please enter your Perks Rewards number.
It's so funny, my phone number is going to be accurate again. My area code. People see my area code in this state and they're like, oh, where's that from? I'm like, North Carolina. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'm moving. It's about decided. Those have been following. It's pretty much decided I'm moving back to North Carolina in September. So, yeah, we're coming back. It kind of is. This is the hardest part about checking out, and this is one of the reasons actually I will usually go. I totally forgot that trick. I would take all my produce up to the girl and make the cashier, or whoever's cashiering, I'd make them do it. Because I'm a bad person. I'm also using bags on my evil. Mooresville. Going back to where it all began. Mooresville's got the best paddleboarding. God, we're already up to $74. Banana. Wait, did it work? It worked, right? Why is it freaking out?
Key in the item's code or look up item.
I haven't done this in a long time. I used to have this memorized, this kind of stuff, when I bought this. No, I don't. I can do this myself. Celery. Which one is it? Is it this one? Is it this one or this one? I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna let the girl check. Yeah. Indeed. This is gonna be expensive. Okay. 1.65 pounds. I guess we got that. Cilantro. Cilantro goes bad, so bad. It's like, cilantro is like per sprig, I think. Yeah. I'd be really surprised if that works. Just say cilantro.
Quantity needed.
$1.29, that's not bad. Green peppers. A lot of times I won't get back these other bags. I'll just throw them in because I know I have to bag them anyway. Valid product code. Unsellable item. We're organic? No. Where's the regular green pepper?
Quantity needed.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, cilantro is the name of a streamer? That's a cool name. Elton John on the radio. Demonetized. Demonetized. Fucking Muzak.
Items code or lookup item.
Scallions. Onion. Green onion.
Quantity needed.
Oh, sad songs. 129, that's not too bad. It's gonna take forever. Onion. See so much. Limes. Limes. $6 for limes. Shit. Jalapeno. It's like a whole thing, right? People don't do it because it just takes so much time. What? They don't have pepper jalapeno. Oh, jalapeno begins with the J, of course. Here I am trying to learn Spanish. Oh my god, I'm so embarrassed. So embarrassed.
Quantity needed.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 avocados. How much does it cost? $12. And concombres.
Quantity needed.
1, 2, 3, 4. $6 for cucumbers. These apples are bruised, but I don't care. They're gonna get ground up. I'll do the world a service. Buy the bruised apples. You know they're gonna throw all this stuff out. You know how much of this food gets thrown out? It's pretty sad. Organic, these kind of things. This is organic. I probably didn't need organics. Yeah. Yeah, avocados are bad for the world. But it's $8 for oranges.
Items code or lookup item.
Give me your credit card and I will get you a discount. Well played. To tell you the truth, I have not been eating a lot of citrus, so that'll be interesting. Because it literally melts acid, melts fat. 349. Okay, so this is 1 week of groceries, $142. This is why, you know, still cheaper than eating out, like by a lot. I already bought fish.
Select payment type.
Yeah, you buy baby carrots and then the reason I buy baby carrots is that I grab a few of them and put them in my smoothie. So this whole entire idea is something I invented
Shopping at your local Macy's.
by, I was sick and tired of buying multivitamins, and I said, fine, instead of buying multivitamins, I'm going to buy, which are expensive, you know, instead of buying multivitamins, I'm going to buy all the foods that have the vitamins and just eat the foods and, like, you know, blend it all up so I get the most out of the food. And it worked. It, like, really worked. Best shape I've ever been in my entire life. I have the pictures to prove it. So I'm trying it again. Yep. So Yeah, I know, right? So you buy a vitamin, and like one of these factory-created vitamins, and your body has to. Okay, that was another reason I did the whole food thing, because you don't have to be a scientist or trust some famous YouTuber to know that eating food is good for you. All you have to do is look at what they feed gorillas. I was so frustrated with all the fake pseudoscience and everybody fighting about this or that, or this is better than this, and blah, blah, blah. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to eat actual food, and I'm going to cover all the bases. I'm going to feed myself like a gorilla at the zoo. And it worked. It totally worked. How many times do they throw a steak to a gorilla in the zoo? Not very frequently. Yeah, the caveman theory is excellent. Oh my God. The Mormon young men's band. Yeah, it's pretty traumatizing all by itself. The Mormon youth leader who drives a white van. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Oh hell yeah, it's winter. It was wintry, snowy mix yesterday. Today it's just really windy. You can tell it's March though. You know how they say March comes in like a lion, goes out like a lamb. It's like a really windy. Like March is a really windy, really super windy month because it's, you know, it's shifting spring. You going to try it? Traumas for women and children. That was horrible for you to say. Yeah, my front passenger seat's in my closet at home, but it's not coming back with me. It's going to the junkyard or something. I don't know. I own this car now, by the way. Here, I'll move you guys. Change the mic to back. There you go. So you don't have to listen to the... Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a little cold. $174 for 1 week of food. It's so much more than my diet right now. My diet right now is pretty much eggs. Before I'm changing, it's eggs. 1 tin of Kipper snack stars or Kipper herring, kind of like sardines. 1 tin of oysters, which is not; those are not cheap. Blueberry waffle. A can of beets or 2. I've been eating a lot of beets. That's been my main source of carb, has been canned beets. And they're good and they're cheap and everything, but they're also not very diverse, and they're in a can. So they're already processed, right? And then lots of whey protein and multivitamin. And inevitably I don't have enough carb. So what's been failing me is I get so hungry from that diet that I end up eating a more digestible carb. So I'll end up eating like a Rice Krispie treat, or I'll have like Raisin Bran, which I used to actually, in my triathlon days, Raisin Bran was the main food that I ate, because
I felt like having it sit in my stomach for longer caused it to lower the glycemic index. It was actually one of the worst things I could have ever done for my body. It does have, bran and stuff in it, but it was really hard on my gut, and I'm pretty sure I started getting a little bit of acid reflux from it because it would sit in my stomach for a long time while it digested. But I read a book called 40-30-30, the Zone Diet, and the guy in there is pushing this idea of you want foods to digest slowly so that they don't hit your system all at once, which I now think is the worst advice anybody could give you, because it overtaxes your nutritional system, your digestive system. It causes the food to ferment in your gut. And yeah, sure, it like slows down how fast it goes in, the blood goes into your bloodstream, but it puts your entire body under stress because you're constantly digesting. And I was only able to pull that off because I was a triathlete. So I was tumbleweed, sounds weird. So I was constantly, doing stuff. When I read about this raw vegan diet and not mixing foods, the idea of that diet is entirely the opposite of that. It's like the way that you're going to reduce glycemic index is you want to get your food in and out of your system as fast as possible so that your body can spend time repairing and relaxing instead of digesting. Totally different approach. And that is the one that got me down to 2% body fat, the most ripped I've ever been. And as a triathlete, I was constantly fighting visceral fat, even though I was a triathlete. And I was pretty skinny, I had low body fat and everything, but it was a constant struggle to fight against it. I was constantly trying to get that extra stuff out, and I was young, so I could get away with having higher stress levels. But, I got older, and I had less body fat by doing the opposite of that, which is eating foods that digest quickly. And so when I read the book about it, it's all about getting stuff through your system and digesting quickly. I said, well, what better way to get the most out of the nutrients than to blend the shit out of them and to break them down? Because most of the work of digestion is breaking down. You start with people who don't chew their food, right? You have to masticate, you have to get that food to break down, and then when it gets into your system, your acid has to break it down. So when you take in food that hasn't already been broken down, your stomach has to spend more time digesting it. So the theory I had was, I'm going to blend everything I eat, everything, for a while. And in fact, I saw another show at the same time about juicing. And it was all about juicing. And I don't agree with the juicing, but the whole thing with the juicing that I took away is micronutrients. So by putting a ton of food, juicing is expensive because you're throwing the food away. You're just keeping the nutrients and stuff. But the idea is that you just get all the nutrients out of the food and then you drink it. But then you lose all that really great fiber and everything that your gut needs to be healthy. So I thought, okay, well, I want to do both of these things. I want to break it down so the nutrients are super accessible. They go right into my system. They don't have to be, they don't come out my whatever. And then I also want to get the fiber, but I don't want the fiber to cause intestinal distress. And like cellulose, this kind of fiber that comes from food, from fruits, especially from citrus. And there's been a long time saying, juice your veggies and eat your veggies or eat your citrus or something like that. But I think you should eat all of it. If you're eating like a caveman or a gorilla, they don't juice their orange and only suck on it. They eat all the fiber that's in the orange as well. So your body is naturally set up to eat that way, I think. So that is where I'm at on that kind of thing. I am temporarily going to go into privacy mode. I don't know where the privacy mode button is. I'm trying to find it. And then I'll go. Well, you know what? We'll make a smoothie, and I'll maybe not tonight, but actually, I kind of want a smoothie right now. So, and then I turned down the coffee in my diet too. I mean, I coffee's good for you, and alcohol is a no-no. I am still recovering from my alcohol over the weekend. I mean, like literally, I have like lots of direct. It's really gross. I don't want to talk about it, but I have specific things about like my skin and stuff because of alcohol. Alcohol is like drinking poison, man. I'm never doing it again. I told myself I wasn't going to do it when I went on the trip, but I let myself, and I feel like that was a huge mistake. So I'm not going to do that. All right, everybody. I am going to leave you for now. So I'm going to go ahead and end the stream now. See you guys later. I do think fasting is important. I agree. All right, everybody.